gotta focus on yourself, on your faith, on your dreams, on your mind, on your health, yeah. You gotta work, never tell, keep your head down, find what you love and excel, yeah. Push and pull.
This is OPPO's newest photography flagship, and honestly, this thing doesn't even try to look like a normal phone anymore. Everything about it screams professional camera. The texture, the branding, even the way it feels in your hand. Smartphone cameras have evolved like crazy over the years. What started as barely usable has turned into something insanely powerful and portable. But there's a catch. Phones also became bigger, heavier, and way more camera-like. So here's the real question. Do regular people actually need a phone designed like a professional camera? Or are these giant camera bumps just there to make flagship phones feel more premium? After using this phone for a full month and taking hundreds of photos, I think the answer shows up in the pictures themselves.
Big thanks to my tech partner over in China for providing this footage. I really appreciate the support in making this video happen. Hey everyone, Stella here from techiestreet. If you're into staying updated with the newest gadgets, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our latest tech content.
The first thing you notice is the build quality, especially this new ground platform color. If you like industrial-style designs, this thing is gorgeous. The brownish-gray metal frame mixed with the leather camera section gives it a vintage camera vibe instantly. And then there's the orange Hasselblad shutter button. A tiny detail, but it completely changes the feel. The whole design clearly takes inspiration from the Hasselblad X2D Earth Explorer edition. Honestly, holding this feels less like a smartphone and more like carrying a compact professional camera. Even the accessories lean hard into that camera experience. In the box, you get a Hasselblad-style case, a shoulder strap, and even a filter adapter ring. There's also support for the 300mm Hasselblad lens setup, which makes this feel even crazier for a phone. On the back, OPPO's new Master's Eye camera module hides a seriously ambitious setup, a 14mm ultra-wide lens, dual 200-megapixel sensors for the main and 3x telephoto cameras, plus a massive 230mm Periscope telephoto lens. Of course, there are downsides. The camera bump is thicker this time, and the outer ring goes back to the older focus ring style design. Personally, I preferred the previous look. But overall, this phone pushes even further toward becoming an actual camera, and thankfully, the shooting experience backs it up. Using this feels like carrying a Hasselblad zoom system in your pocket, covering everything from 14mm ultra-wide shots all the way to 230mm telephoto. And that's important because zoom has always been one of the hardest things to do well on smartphones. So how does the Find X9 Ultra solve it? First, it uses 4 dedicated optical focal lengths: 14mm, 23mm, 70mm, and 230mm telephoto, which means you can go from huge landscape shots to extreme telephoto without the quality falling apart. And once you attach the external teleconverter, you get 300mm reach on a smartphone, which honestly feels ridiculous. You can shoot subjects that look impossibly far away. The second big advantage is the dual 200-megapixel sensors, and this isn't just about huge photo sizes. The real benefit is flexibility. Even when cropping between focal lengths, image quality stays incredibly sharp, almost like having multiple lenses built into one. Low light performance is strong too. The main camera has a bright f1.5 aperture, while the 3x telephoto uses a huge sensor for better detail and less noise at night. But here's what really matters. Eventually, you stop thinking about the cameras entirely. You stop asking which lens looks best, you just frame the shot, focus on the moment, and press the shutter. And then we get to the star of the whole system, the 230mm 10x telephoto lens. This isn't one of those gimmicky zoom cameras anymore. It's actually useful creatively, because telephoto lenses don't just bring things closer, they completely change perspective. For example, nobody would normally stop beside a random barbed wire fence to take photos, but with a telephoto lens, distant streets and coastlines suddenly compress together into layers. The entire scene feels different, almost cinematic. And that's something wide-angle cameras simply can't replicate. A great telephoto lens isn't about zooming farther. It's about making distant subjects feel emotional and alive. Mountains suddenly look close enough to touch. People stand out beautifully, even in crowded cities. That's exactly why portrait photographers love telephoto lenses. But while focal lengths change composition, the real soul of a photo comes from something else entirely: color and tone. That's what people feel first. For years, the camera industry obsessed over sharper images, higher resolution, and perfect optics. But something unexpected happened. Older cameras, vintage lenses, even imperfect optics started becoming desirable again. Some are now used in major Hollywood productions. Why? Because when every image looks perfectly clean and technically flawless, people start craving character again. Rich colors, unique rendering, even imperfections. Ironically, those flaws are exactly what make photos feel memorable.
The Find X9 Ultra's Master Mode was built for one thing: bringing the feeling of classic film cameras into a smartphone. Unlike the normal camera mode that aims for perfect color accuracy, Master Mode goes in a completely different direction. Colors feel richer, softer, more cinematic. It even keeps certain lens imperfections like vignetting on purpose, and somehow that makes the photos feel more emotional and alive. Back in the film era, the character of an image came from the film stock and the lens itself. That's exactly the idea here. Instead of standard image processing, Master Mode uses a separate workflow designed to recreate the tones, textures, and imperfections of classic photography. And this year, OPPO leaned fully into Hasselblad's color science. The Find X9 Ultra is officially Hasselblad certified, and the upgraded Master Mode adds 3 new film styles. The one we kept coming back to was the Portra 400-inspired Hollandaise filter. Blue tones and golden highlights look incredible. Everything has this warm, cinematic glow, while skin tones stay soft and natural. Sunny days, cloudy weather, it just works. And when you combine those colors with the Hasselblad X-Pan style wide framing and live photos, something really interesting happens. It stops feeling like smartphone photography. It starts feeling like old-school film photography brought back to life. But the most fascinating mode for me was the Ricoh-inspired high-contrast black and white filter. The texture rendering is insane. Wrinkles in clothing, mountain details, clouds, everything suddenly has more depth because of the dramatic contrast between light and shadow. And unlike traditional fixed lens cameras, the Find X9 Ultra gives you multiple focal lengths to play with, so experimenting with composition becomes way more fun. These film-inspired looks work especially well in emotional or story-driven scenes. Skin tones also look much more refined because of the unique image processing. And if you want more control, Hasselblad includes customization tools and importable presets. OPPO even lets you load the exact color presets used during this shoot with one tap. But if photos create emotion, video brings it fully to life. The Find X9 Ultra supports 4K at 120 FPS and even 8K 30 FPS log recording. It also includes pro-level features like Vlog 2 and Dolby Vision support. And honestly, the 8K footage is ridiculously sharp. Even after cropping in during editing, detail still holds up surprisingly well. Inside Pro Video mode, you can also import custom 3D LUTs directly into the phone. So instead of spending hours color grading later, you can bake cinematic colors straight into the footage while recording. OPPO even includes official LUTs for different lighting situations, which makes getting beautiful footage much easier. So yeah,
this is basically the complete package, a design that genuinely feels like a professional camera, dual high-resolution sensors, a reflection-free Periscope telephoto lens, film-inspired image processing, and surprisingly serious video tools. But after looking through all the photos and footage from this phone, I realized something unexpected. Maybe this wasn't the real answer to the question from the beginning, because if someone truly wants the best photography experience, wouldn't they just buy a dedicated camera? And honestly, are smartphone companies pushing camera technology too far every year? Then I started thinking about my own experience. Over the last few years, I've used my actual cameras less and less. I still remember buying my first camera. I wanted to shoot everything. Random cats, convenience stores, street lights at night. None of it mattered. I didn't care about quality or composition. Pressing the shutter alone made me happy. For the first time, it felt like I was seeing the world differently. But eventually, that feeling disappeared. Partly because carrying a real camera felt inconvenient, and partly because filming became work. After spending all day shooting videos, the last thing I wanted was to pick up another camera afterward. Honestly, I can't even remember the last time I went out at night just to casually take photos. But while using the Find X9 Ultra, something strange happened. My gallery started filling up again. After work, I'd randomly photograph sunsets, blue skies, or shadows through trees. On weekends, I'd shoot buildings, grass, little tiny details around the studio, things I normally ignore every single day. And that surprised me. Normally, smartphone photos feel too ordinary to care about, but when you can compress the world through a 230mm lens or turn simple scenes into cinematic film shots, everyday life suddenly feels interesting again. The roadside trees start looking beautiful. Sunsets feel worth stopping for. Ordinary moments suddenly feel worth capturing. I always thought only dedicated cameras could create that feeling, but modern smartphones are starting to bring that same creative freedom into your pocket. And somewhere along the way, you rediscover the joy of photography itself. And honestly, maybe that's what mobile photography is really about. Not replacing professional cameras, but giving you more reasons to notice the world around you and actually want to capture it. The base version of the Find X9 Ultra Earth Edition starts at 11,999 yuan in China, which is around 1,302 pounds in the UK and about $1,759 US. So, what do you guys think about this camera-focused flagship? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.